To Bible study. My name is DJ, and I'm in the closet. My wife got mad because I didn't put up a sheet to cover all this, and I put one up before. You guys might have seen in one of the videos, but it got wrinkled. And if you ever tried to iron the sheet, it's not fun. It takes like 30 minutes to iron the sheet, and so I just said, no. We're in the closet. So let's have a quick word of prayer and we'll get straight into it. Father, we thank you for another day, another opportunity to come together to study your words, to gain revelation knowledge. We open our eyes, we open our ears to gain wisdom from you and to walk it out and be a light in this dark, dark world. We thank you for it in the name of Yeshua, in the name of Jesus. Amen. So let's look at Genesis 1:1, part 2. Genesis 1:1, part 2. This is the process of creation before the beginning. The process of creation, okay, before the beginning. This is the Gap series. So if you remember last time we talked about part 1 about creation. Now let's talk about the process of creation. How did he create? And what was he doing before he started creating, right? Before the beginning. So if we want to know what happened before the beginning, Genesis 1:1, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. If we want to know what happened before the beginning, what do we got to do? We got to study the words that come before before beginning. So if you want to know what happened before the beginning, study the words that came before beginning, right? So that'll be in and the, or the. I don't know why we say the. It's the, right? The, the. I don't know how the came to be, but anyways, in the beginning. So we'll study these two words, in the, to find out what happened before the beginning, right? Now, some of you might say, oh, the Bible doesn't say what happened before the beginning. Well, says who? Says you, right? So let's get into this study. Genesis 1:1, we just read it. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. So let's look at the word in, I-N, in. What does the word in mean? Expressing a period of time during which an event takes place or a situation remains the case. Expressing a period of time during which an event takes place, right, or a situation remains the case. Now, let's look at this little phrase here, takes place first, right? Expressing a period of time during which an event takes place. We could look at it here. These are some synonyms that we can use to replace this word takes that can help us make sense of this definition. So expressing a period of time during which an event takes place, or an event comes to pass, or an event ensues, an event transpires, follows, results, emerges, an event develops, takes place by means, an event shall be carried out, come into being, or flow from, or run from. So let's put all this together, and we can say, expressing a period of time during which creation flows and creating remains the case. Expressing a period of time during which creation flows, or you can replace it with any one of these. Expressing a period of time during which creation comes to pass, or creation transpires, or creation flows. What did I say? Flow or follow? Creation follows, and creating remains the case. So, what is it saying? There's a process that takes place before creation, Actually, this process is what creation comes out of. So when God created the heavens and the earth, there is a specific process he used to which creation resulted. Creation emerges from this process. Creation is developed by this process. It takes place by means of this process. It comes to pass. It ensues. It is carried out by this process. Creation comes into being by this process. It flows. It runs from this process, right? So when it says in the beginning, this word in, there's going to be a process to which the beginning flows, and it creates the heavens and the earth. So there's a process from which creation flows. So we're going to find out what that process is. That makes sense so far? I hope so. So, express, look at express, a root word, express. What does express mean? To put thought into words, utter, or state. To put thought into words. Now think about that. God, Elohim, God in this process, took his thoughts and put them into words. He took his thoughts and put them into words. Then he uttered or state or he spoke the words. So he took his thoughts, put them into words, and then he spoke. Now we know that if you read the creation, the beginning story, the Genesis, he creates everything with what? His words. So this is the process of him creating using his words, and this is how he uses his words to create. He expresses himself, right? Or he puts his thoughts into words, and then he speaks it. Now that's a process that we all know, or some of you seasoned believers can guess what this process is, right? Take your thoughts and put them into words and to speak it. That's a process that we talk about a lot in the scriptures. So let's see if you can figure that out without cheating and reading ahead, right? So the Father, he put his thoughts into words. Now what does that mean? Thoughts. What are thoughts? Thoughts are an intention, hope, or idea of doing or receiving something. An intention, your intentions. Your thoughts are your intentions, right? Hope. Your thoughts are what you hope for, right? Or ideas of doing or receiving something. So it's through this process, through your hope, or through your intentions, that you're going to receive something or do something, right? Careful consideration or attention. So your thoughts, you should be thinking carefully, right? Careful consideration, you should have careful consideration of your thoughts before you utter or speak them, right? You should pay close attention to your thoughts, right? So the Father put his thoughts into words, his thoughts, which were his intentions or his hope. His hope of what? His hope of creation, the heavens and the earth. He put them into words, but he took careful consideration. Remember, everything he does is perfect, right? Careful consideration, careful attention. He paid careful attention and consideration to his thoughts before he put them into words, before he spoke them. You ever heard of the expression, think before you speak? What does that mean? It means take careful consideration of what you're going to say. So think clearly on what you're going to say before you say it, right? Think before you speak, right? So his thoughts are his intentions. What are intentions? A thing intended, an aim, or plan. So his thoughts are his intentions, or his thoughts are his plans. So his thoughts are his plans for the heavens and the earth, his creation. So he thought carefully, he paid careful attention to his thoughts, right? Before he put his thoughts into his words, his plans, he had He had plans for the heavens and the earth. Now, when I say plans, I'm talking about like actual plans, like you plan out a trip. What do? You write it down and you get all your thoughts together. You get everything together in an order, and you have everything planned out. He planned his thoughts. In his thoughts, he planned creation, the heavens and the earth. He planned it all out. He was thinking about it, right? He planned it all out. Then he put it into words to prepare it to be spoken, right? And it had to be done very carefully. He had to pay close attention to it, right? So, a thing intended, or his plans, his aim or his plans. His aim was to create the heavens and the earth, or his plans to create the heavens and the earth. Right? Does that make sense? So, if you haven't guessed by now what this process is, it tells you right here in Hebrews 11:1. Now, faith is the confidence in what we hope for and the assurance about what we do not see. Now, faith, that's the magic word. That's the process, faith. So God used his faith to create the heavens and the earth. Faith. Now, faith is the confidence in what we hope for. Now, remember, hope is part of your thoughts, right? What you think, your intentions, your hope. What is hope? What is hope? Well, we know here that hope is connected to faith, right? Now, faith is the confidence in what we hope for. What are we hoping for? What is hope? Hope is to hope for, put hope in. So, put hope in what? Put hope in words, right? Put hope in, expect. Hope is expecting. Hope is to expect. An attitude of confidently looking forward to what is good and beneficial. So, hope is expecting and then having an attitude of confidently looking forward to what you're expecting, what is beneficial and good. Right? So, what is hope? Hope is like the vision. Hope is the dream. Hope is the plans that you have, maybe for yourself or for whatever project you're working on. The hope is what you have to look forward to, right? Hope is what you have to look forward to. Like people that have no hope, they have nothing to look forward to. And if they have nothing to look forward to, they have nothing to lose. And if they have nothing to lose, they'll do crazy things, right? Usually people in the hood, or people in the street, people on the streets that make a lifestyle out of that, they don't have any hope. They don't have any dreams or any plans of being maybe a doctor or a lawyer or, today's age, an influencer or athlete or owning their own business or whatever the case may be. They have no hope. They have no dreams. They have no plans, right? Therefore, they just live day by day, and whatever happens, happens. They have no hope. But we are people with hope, right? We get our hope from God, from Elohim, from the Lord, from the Father, right? He gives us our plans, our missions in life, right? And if you haven't gotten it from him, ask. Ask until he gives you your plan for your life, right? So hope, that's what hope is. Hope is what you have to look forward to. The vision, the future, right? Hope is the future of what you are expecting confidently to become, or what you're confidently looking forward to. So let's I got 3 examples that he showed me. So we're gonna have 3 examples that's gonna kind of explain hope to us and how it works, the process of hope, which is faith. So we'll kind of explain faith a little bit more clearly. So let's say we have a couple. We have a husband and a wife. That's one. That's two. And then we have Elohim, God, the Father. That's three, right? So we have the mother. We have the wife who's pregnant. Oh, congratulations, right? The mother's pregnant. And because the mother's pregnant, we have the husband says, you know what? The husband's an architect, we'll say, and he says, you know, I'm going to build a house for my growing family, right? So we have the pregnant wife, we have the architect husband, and then we'll use the father as the third example, right? So to hope for, to put hope in or expect, right? So hope is to expect. So the mother is what? The pregnant mother is what? Expecting. Isn't that what we call pregnant women? They're expecting. They're expecting, right? What are they expecting? They're expecting a child, right? So the pregnant mother is expecting. She's expecting. What is she expecting? What does expect mean? To believe that someone or something will arrive soon. So if she's pregnant, she believes that the baby will arrive soon. She's expecting. The husband is expecting, right? He's expecting that baby to arrive soon, so he what? He wants to build a house for his family. So he's expecting a house to come soon, right? And then we have the father who's expecting what? He's expecting the heavens and the earth. Because he's expecting his creation. He's expecting it to arrive soon, right? So they're all three expecting, right? Expect an attitude of confidently looking forward to, so they can have a specific attitude, not an attitude problem, but they have a good attitude, right? A settled way of thinking or feeling about someone or something, typically one that is reflected in one's behavior. So the mother's settled in her way of thinking. She says, I'm pregnant and I'm going to be expecting this baby soon. So she has the attitude of expectancy, right? She's settled in her way of thinking that the baby's coming soon, and one that is reflected in her behavior. Now she starts to behave like she's expecting a baby. So what does that mean? She starts looking for baby products, a crib and a rocking chair, bottles, and whatever else, you know, babies need, right? So she's expecting the baby. She has a settled way of thinking about it, and she starts to act on it. Her behavior shows that she's expecting, right? That she's preparing for this baby. The husband, right? He knows that this baby's coming, so what? He's settled in his way of thinking that I'm going to build this house for my family. And it reflects in his behavior by what? By him taking his thoughts and putting them on paper. What is that? His blueprints. So he has a vision of what he wants the house to be in his head, right? Then he takes that vision and you can tell by his behavior that he's settled in his way of thinking. That's something he's gonna do. So he starts to, you know, design his house for his family, right? Same thing with the father. The father wanted to create a space for his family, mankind. So what? He designed in his head the heavens and the earth to prepare a place for what? For his family. Same thing. Isn't that what a good husband does, or a good father? So they have the attitude of expectancy, right? And then they confidently look forward to what they're doing, right? Confidence. The attitude, they have a confident attitude of expecting a certain outcome to arrive soon, right? So what's confidence? A feeling of self-assurance arising from one's appreciation of one's own abilities or qualities. So the mother is feeling self-assured, arising from her own what? Appreciation of her abilities to what? To design her baby's room, to buy the clothes and whatever else she needs for her child, right? So she's confident, and she has a confident attitude of expectancy. She knows that that child's arriving soon, so what? She's preparing for this child. Even though the child's not there yet, she's expecting it, right? That's what faith is. Faith is the expectation. Faith is the confidence in what we hope for, confidence in what we're expecting, and then we act on what we confidently expect, right? Um, the husband, he's self-assured that his skills as a architect, that he's designing his house, right? He has a feeling of self-assurance arising from his appreciation of his own abilities to design a house. Just like the father, uh, he has the ability to create the heavens and the earth, and he's self-assured in his abilities, right? Just like there was a time I was believing for a new car, right? Needed a new car, and uh, I used my faith to get it. So I first of all, I prayed, and I asked the Father, I need a new car, and He told me to find the car you want. What car do you want? So you need to be specific when you ask for stuff. So I went online and looking at cars, and I found what I wanted. So I said, Father, this is what I want. Can I have this? And He said yes. So no, it didn't just happen tomorrow, the next day. It took some time, but I was expecting, right? I was expecting the car to arrive soon. So, I was going about my daily life and stuff, and the Father was doing stuff that, now that I look back on it, He was preparing for it. But I remember I had a dream once that He said, clear a space in your garage. Your car's coming, clear out your garage. So I had that dream 3 times. He said, clear out your garage, it's coming. So what? That's expectancy. I should have the attitude of expectancy. If I knew a car was coming, I should make space for the car, right? That's the attitude of expectancy and confidence that what I'm expecting will arrive soon. So the mother here in this situation, she's expecting the child to arrive soon, so she's designing a room. She's looking at what furniture she wants and the clothes and whatever. The father is, what's he doing? He had a vision of he had hope for a new house, right? He can see it in his mind, right? And he's designing his house. He's making the blueprints for it. He's picking out the materials that he needs for it, right? He's expecting a house to arrive soon because he knows that baby's going to arrive soon, right? So, and the father the same way. He's expecting his family to arrive soon, right? He's going to bring his family forth soon. And he's preparing by what? By creating the heavens and the earth. Now, confidently looking forward to. So looking, an expression of a feeling or thought by directing one's gaze. By directing one's gaze. What is directing one's gaze? Extending or moving from one place to another by the shortest way without changing direction or stopping. So they're expressing their gaze. So the expectant mother, she finds out from her husband maybe the dimensions of the room, the size of the room, so she can order the proper size crib and rocking chair. She can lay out, she can design what she's hoping for, what she has in her head, her thoughts of building this baby room, because she's expecting the baby to arrive soon, right? So she has an attitude of expectancy, and her behavior shows it by setting up the baby's room, and it goes in process, it goes in steps, right? So she had a design in her head, and now she's looking, scouring the internet and books and stuff to find the exact design she wants. Same thing with the father. He has a design of the house in his head. He's getting the materials. Now he goes and buys the property. Maybe he buys an acre, right? He buys an acre, and it's just this barren land, right? But he can look and he can envision the house on that land. He can envision the wall that goes around the property to know the size, and then he can envision the house on the land. He can envision the driveway and the landscape, and he can envision the pool in the back and maybe a little basketball court, a little grassy area with a little playground. He's envisioning all of that, right? It's like the mother, she finds out the room size, and she envisions the room, finds out the dimensions and the measurements, and she can go and buy all the stuff to prepare and get ready, right? Same thing with the father. The father can look out into the void, into the nothingness, and he can measure out, right? He can measure out, and he can envision his creation coming to pass. He can look out and see where everything's going, right? Measure it out. Directing, we looked at that, right? Extending or moving from one place to another by the shortest way without changing directions. What does that mean? If we add gaze to it, looking steadily and intently, especially in admiration, surprise, or thought. We'll go with this word thought. I heard some noise, that's why I paused. Looking steadily and intently, especially in admiration or especially in thought, to survey, scan, or study. To survey, scan, or study. So, the mother's looking at the room, not only the baby's room. I'm sure the wife is looking at the whole house, right? She wants to decorate her house, right? Women, you want to design the interior of your house, your furniture and stuff. So she's looking, she's scanning, she's surveying the area, and she's picking out what she wants to go in the house. The dad, the architect, he bought the plot of land, and he's scanning it, and he's looking over it, he's surveying it, he's studying it, and along with its blueprints to place everything where everything should be, exactly where it should be and where it should go and how it should look and how it should, and how it functions and everything. He has all that planned out. Now he's surveying the area, and he's studying the area to put where he wants things to be. Same thing with the father. He's scanning and surveying the area, and everything is intentional. Remember, he's perfect. Everything's intentional. Everything has a design. It's a plan. Everything has this place, right? It's not just random. It's not, it's not what scientists say is evolution. There's an explosion, out of chaos came order. No, that's not what it was. He created it. He planned it all out. All the planets are where they're supposed to be. Well, at least before the fall. Everything is where it's supposed to be. Everything rotates the way it's supposed to rotate. Everything moves the way it's supposed to move. It was designed that way, right? It was designed perfectly. So now that now this process is done, now looking onward as to make progress towards a successful conclusion. So now that the mother has the designs and she figured everything out in her head, now she starts to order the furniture, order the pictures and the crib, the stuff that she wants to go in the house and in the baby's room. She's moving onward to make progress toward a successful conclusion, right? The father, he bought the land. Now he moves forward. To make progress, he takes his blueprints, he gives it to the builder, right? And the builder takes his blueprints, and the builder starts to build what he's envisioned. So what was in his head is now coming into reality, right? Towards a successful conclusion. Same thing with the father. Now that he has everything planned out, he has everything scanned out and studied, and now he puts it all into words, and now he's moving onward to make progress, right? He's putting his plans into words, and then his words into action, just like the couple. Now they make progress, move forward and onward in space and time. Now they build the house. Now the architect, the father, builds the house. Now the house is ready. The house is prepared. And see, things come in different steps too. They progress differently. So the house is done before the baby comes, right? So let's just say, I don't know how long it takes to build a house. Let's say it takes 6 months for him to build the house, right? So the house is prepared, the house is done, and they still got 2 or 3 months before the baby comes. So now they move the furniture in, and they decorate, and they get everything. You know, they're moving towards a successful conclusion. The same thing with the father. Now that he has everything mapped out and laid out in the void, in the nothingness, now he's moving forward, onward in space and time. He uses time to measure space, because time is a measurement, amongst other things. Time is a measurement. So he measures out, just like the father got the plot of land, and he put up a wall. Let's say he put up a wall first to measure out the space, his acre, which he's going to build his homestead on. So the father uses time, which is a measurement, to space out the space. All right, space time. He uses time to measure the space to put his creation in that space. Right? That makes sense. So that's the faith process. Right? Start off with just a thought. Then you take your thoughts and you plan it out. Take your plans, you bring it out your head onto paper. You know, the mother probably had a vision board, right? Father had his blueprints. The architect had his blueprints. The father had his blueprints too. So you bring it out and then you build it, right? That's the process of faith. Does that make sense? I hope so. Now, here's some verses to go along with that thought. For as he thinks in his heart, so is he. So we're just going to focus on the A clause of this verse. For as he thinks in his heart, as he thinks in his heart, his thoughts, his thinking comes from what? His heart. So no, you know, the heart is part of the soul, right? Your mind, your will, your emotions. The heart is part of the mind. So you think with your heart. So as he thinks in his heart, right? And then let's look at Matthew 12:34. That was Proverbs 23:7, by the way. For as he thinks in his heart. Then we have Matthew 12:34. We'll just look at the B clause on here. For the mouth speaks what the heart is full of. For the mouth speaks what the heart is full of. So what you're thinking about, your thoughts that are in your heart, which you think about and what you plan and what you confidently look forward to, what you're thinking, your plans that are in your heart, hopefully given by the Father, right? Because he has plans for all of us. For the mouth speaks what the heart is full of, right? So that's the process. You take your thoughts, put them into words, then you speak your words, and then you're going to have what you say. That's what the Bible says. You're going to have what you say. That's the faith process. Now, you can think bad things in your heart. You can have negative thinking, wrong thinking, and then your heart gets full of that negativity, that wrong thinking, and you start to speak negatively, and you start to speak wrong, and then your life's going to line up with what you speak, and it's going to be negative. It's going to be wrong. Then you're going to be angry, and you're going to ask God why. Well, because you filled your heart with negativity. Fill your heart with what you're expecting, right? Fill your heart with what you're expecting to arrive. So and then you got to have the attitude of confidence and looking forward to what is good. So you really got to control your mind. You got to be really intentional with. You got to be careful. You got to have careful consideration of what you're thinking on, and what you're filling your heart with, because that's what's going to eventually come out your mouth, and that's what's going to shape your existence, your future. Right? That makes sense? What the mouth speaks, the heart is full of. Okay? So, moving right along. Into. Put thought into words, utter and state. Put thought into words. What is into? Expressing movement or action with the result that someone or something becomes enclosed or surrounded by something else. So, expressing movement or action with the result that, in this case, God's putting his thoughts into words. So he's putting his thoughts, so his thoughts are moving or becoming enclosed or surrounded by something else, or in this case, words. So he's taking his thoughts and he's moving them, he's expressing them, he's moving them into words. Right? That's part of the process. What is expressing? Convey a thought or feeling in words or by gestures and conduct. So he's moving his thoughts into words. Convey his thoughts in words. What's convey? Convey is to transport or carry to a place. So he's transporting his thoughts, he's carrying his thoughts into, and he's putting them into words. Right? He's taking his thoughts and putting them into words. Right? Because words are what? Words are vehicles. Word is a vehicle. Is a transporter of thoughts. Words are transporter of thoughts. Words are vehicles for thoughts. So the Father took his thoughts and he put them into words. That's why words have meaning. That's why words have substance. Now, if we might be getting a little too deep here, but words have substance. Because he told me before. He said, what do you think words are? He said, do you think words are just emptiness, nothingness, air? Right? You think words are just air? You think words are just reverberations of your vocal cords? He said, no. He said, words have substance. Words have substance. Words are made up of things, made up of a substance. Right? And we know that substance goes along with faith. Now, faith is the confidence, or some translations, we'll get to it. Faith is a substance. Now that substance is put into words, and those words are spoken, and that substance becomes what you say. Now faith has substance. Now I studied for a couple of years, the brain. This is brain scientist. Her name is Dr. Caroline Leaf. Caroline Leaf. So if you're interested in stuff like that, she's a brain scientist and she's a believer. So you can learn a lot about your thoughts. Your thoughts they can see your thoughts when they look in like your brain. They can see your thoughts. Your thoughts look like trees. They look like trees. So there's like the base of it, right? The trunk, and then there's branches. So the more you think about something, the more branches it develops, and it looks like a tree. But bad thoughts look like a dead tree. Bad thoughts are like it looks ugly. It looks wiry, like a wiry dead tree. And that is a form of brain damage. So when you think, as you think in your heart, as you're processing, as you're thinking, if you're thinking on what's good from the Father, it looks like a live tree. It looks like a tree. And it's made out of protein, so it has a substance. It's made out of a substance, right? And that substance is put into words, and that substance is brought out of your mind, out of your heart, and it's spoken. And then it becomes whatever you're saying. So words have substance, right? Words have substance. They're made up of something. So when the Father's putting his thoughts into words, it's an actual substance that he's putting into words. And then when he speaks it, it becomes what he says. All right, I hope I didn't give you too much there. Where'd we leave off at? Expressing, conveying, putting your thoughts into words, gestures, conduct. We'll see that in future studies where that comes in. Gestures. Some people talk with their hands, right? Some people talk and then they gesture with their hands, right? To convey, to carry out, to carry to a place. Movement, the action of changing physical locations or positions of having this changed. So movement, expressing movement, is transporting or moving or changing physical locations of your thoughts into words. So the Father's thoughts change physical locations from his mind, from his heart, into words, into his words. Right? And change physical locations, and he uttered, or he say something aloud. Utter to say something aloud. He spoke aloud. Was aloud. He spoke audibly, not silently or in a whisper. He spoke aloud. So he took his thoughts, he transported them into words, and then he spoke aloud. Right? He spoke aloud. So that's the creation story. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, and if you read those first couple chapters there, it talks about creation. Right? That's the process that he used to create. So that's the process right there. State. So he utters, or he states. He puts thought into words, right? We understand that. He puts thought into words. And then he utters, or he states, or he speaks. State. Let's look at some synonyms here. Expressing something definitely or clearly in speech or writing. So he speaks it, and he also writes it, his plans. Everything he does is being documented. Everything he does and everything we do is being documented. Right? There's scribe angels documenting everything we do, everything we say, right? Everything is written down. So maybe one day when we get to heaven, we can see the books of creation, right? We can see that process in written form, right? He speaks it, to speak it or to write it. Some synonyms is communicate, convey, indicate, show, demonstrate, right? Reveal. He's revealing what was in his heart and in his mind, right? Demonstrates it. Intimate, manifest, right? He made manifest, make manifest, exhibit, evidence. Faith is the evidence, or faith is the manifestation, right? Of what we hope for. Put across, or put over, get across, or get over, right? Articulate, put into words, right? Put into words. Utter, voice, give voice to, give expression to, enunciate, pronounce, verbalize, word, phrase, render, frame, couch. Couch? Unless there's a different word, that obviously that means something else, right? It means to state, but I know couch to mean something else, right? But anyways, state, assert, proclaim, profess, right? Those are biblical words we use. Air, make public, give vent to, vent, say, tell, speak, mouth, point out, point out. We'll get to that in a second. Point out, denote, illustrate, symbolize, signify, embody, rare evidence, and what is this word? Asseverate. I guess that means to speak. Okay. So now he put his thought into words, and then he speaks them aloud, right? And they come out, they're revealed, they manifest, right? That's the process of faith. Now let's look at that in the New King James Version, Hebrews 11:1. Now faith is the substance of things we hope for, the evidence of things not seen. So faith is the substance. What is the substance? The real physical matter of which a person or thing consists and which has a tangible, solid presence. So remember, words have substance. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, of what we're looking forward to, right? That comes from our thoughts, our mind, the evidence of things not seen. So it's not seen yet, but we know we're expecting it. We're expecting it. So although we don't see it yet, we're expecting it. We're expecting it to come, and we're acting accordingly, right? Now faith is that substance. That's what faith is. Faith is that substance of what of the mind, the plans that are in the mind. We take that and we put it into words, speak it, and the process of creation happens. That's that process. Faith is that process that he used to create the heavens and the earth, right? Expressing a period of time during which creation follows and creating remains the case. Expressing a period of time, that's the period of time that time that the Father was in faith, right? That's that period of time before creation. Does that make sense? Okay. Now let's look at A. A is expressing a period of time. Expressing a period of time. Expressing a. What is a? One, used before a noun expressing quantity. Usually a, the first fixed quantity in an algebraic expression. So what's that saying? So when God measured out using time, he used mathematics. He created math, right? If you're an architect, you need to know some math, right? If you're a builder, you definitely need to know some math, right? So the Father, who's the architect, who's the builder, Yeshua, actually, the Word, Jesus, he uses math. Right? Expression, algebraic expression was an expression. A collection of symbols that jointly express quantity. A collection of symbols that jointly express a quantity. So, the different symbols, remember, words and all the symbols and everything that's written, it came from the Father's thoughts, and it has substance. It means something. It is something. And you put it together in different expressions, you get different forms, you get different quantities. Just like the alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all the way to Z. Those are different symbols. And put those different symbols in different orders, right? You get what? You get written language. We can read it. But anyways, that's a study that's coming. Kind of jumping the gun a little bit. But let's just keep it simple for now. So, expression, a collection of symbols jointly expressing quantity. So the Father used math. Mathematics came from him, right? Period. Expressing a period of time. Expressing a period of time. Any specific division or portion of time. A round of time or series of years by which time is measured. So, any specified division or portion of time. Now, time is a measurement. And remember, we had what did we say? We said point out. So when God spoke the words that came out, it came out. Now you know that there's different steps and different progression when you do stuff. Like when you're building a house, there's different steps you take. You gotta survey the land, and you gotta, prepare the earth, and you gotta lay your foundation, and you gotta put up your frame, and then the whole process. I'm not a builder, so I hope that's the right process, but you get the point. So there's different points that you got to use. Different points or different periods. Period's a point, right? There's different points or different periods that you got to use to there's a specific sequence, right, that you got to use to create. So just like a clock tells time, right? A clock is portioned out to tell time. A clock is round, right? A clock is round, and on the clock you got your 12, your 1, your 2, your 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, right? And then in between that you got your 4 points to measure time, to count time, to tell what time it is, right? And it's round. It's round. So he told me before that a figure 8, that's not an infinity. Usually the symbol for infinity is the figure 8. It's not a figure 8, it's a circle. It's a circle. That's infinity, is a circle. It just keeps going round and round and round, round and round and round. That expression, round and round it goes, round, because it's round. Right? Time is round, that's why clocks are round. Right? And then you got your hands to go around, you got your second, minute, and hour hands to go around. Right? And then that round, that clock, is divided into portions, right? To different points. So at the different points, at a different point in time, that house is built. At a different point in time, the baby develops. At a different point, there's different points in time to which things are done. There's a specific order in things, right? To which things are done. So the period of time means that there's a specific order, there's a specific time for everything to be done, right? It's like you have a deadline. You got to get your work done at a specific time before you go home, right? You should portion out your day to get specific things done at a specific time to get the job done, right? So that's the period, that's the period of time. Now period of time during which creation takes place. Period of time throughout the course or duration of a period of time. At a particular point in the course of time, right? So there's particular points, just like what we just talked about. Particular points, you have your hours, your 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Then you have your minutes, 1 all the way through 60. Then you have your seconds, So each one of those points represent a portion of time. Is that making sense? Throughout the course or duration of a period of time. So just remember a clock and then all the different points on the clock. That's how you measure time. You have infinity, which is just a circle. It just goes round and round and round forever. So throughout the course or duration of time, a particular point in time, so those particular points, just like there's appointed times, the scriptures talk about appointed times. There's appointed times, there's points in time to where things take place, right? A point in time to where things take place, and everything has an order, everything has a point in time to where it takes place. Your life is ordered out. There's points in your timeline, in your life, to where things take place. And if you follow the Father and His plan for your life, you'll fulfill His plan for your life. So that's it for today. I hope that helped you. There's a lot of information. So go back over this video a few times. Take good notes. Study your notes. And get this process into your heart. That way, when we continue, it'll make sense, right? You got to make sure that you stay. Up on this stuff, because it only gets deeper from here on. So I hope this helped, and thanks for watching, and we'll do it again next time. Peace.